Snuck back home after my secret date, thinking my wife was asleep, but the lights were off, and the house felt wrong. On the table, a single envelope read, "Hope it was worth it." I opened the bedroom door, and my heart stopped. It was a cold November night in Chicago, the kind of cold that gets into your bones and makes you wish you were anywhere but outside. I was walking through the South Side, heading home after spending time with someone I shouldn't have. The streets were quiet, and the wind was biting. I pulled my coat tighter around me, trying to block out the chill and the guilt that was creeping in. As I approached our house, something felt off. The porch light, which Sarah always left on for me, was off. That was unusual. Sarah was always consistent about things like that. I hesitated for a moment before unlocking the door and stepping inside. The house was dark and silent. Normally, Sarah would leave a light on in the living room, but tonight, it was completely dark. I called out her name softly, "Sarah," but there was no response. The only sound was the faint hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen. I took a few steps into the living room, and that's when I noticed it. An envelope on the coffee table with my name written on it in Sarah's handwriting. The words, "Hope it was worth it," were written underneath. My heart started pounding in my chest. With shaking hands, I picked up the envelope and opened it. Inside was a letter from Sarah. "Michael, I know about everything. The lies, the betrayal. I thought we had something real, but I was wrong. I can't do this anymore. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Don't try to find me. Sarah." I read the letter over and over, hoping I had misunderstood, but the words didn't change. Sarah knew, and she was gone. I sat down on the couch, the letter still in my hands. The weight of what I had done hit me like a ton of bricks. I had destroyed our marriage, our life together, for what? A few moments of selfish pleasure? I don't know how long I sat there, lost in my thoughts. Eventually, I forced myself to get up and check the rest of the house. Sarah's clothes were gone, her personal items missing. The only thing she left behind was her wedding ring, placed neatly on her pillow in our bedroom. I tried to find her. I called her friends, her family, but no one knew where she was. Or if they did, they weren't telling me. It was like she had vanished into thin air. The days turned into weeks, and the reality of my actions set in. I had lost the most important person in my life because of my selfishness. The guilt was overwhelming. I share this story as a warning. Infidelity doesn't just hurt the person you're betraying. It destroys everything. Trust, love, the life you've built together. And once it's gone, there's no getting it back. If you're in a relationship, cherish it. Be honest. Be faithful. Because once you lose it, you'll realize too late just how much it meant to you. Michael at night. I just lay there on our bed, staring at the ceiling. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sarah's face. The way she smiled when she was happy. The way her eyes squinted when she laughed. I thought about all the times she made me coffee in the mornings, even when she was running late for work. All the little things that I ignored, that I ruined. The next morning, I called in sick. I didn't even know what I would have said if I went to the office. "Hey, I cheated on my wife. She found out, and now she's gone. Can I borrow a stapler?" I sat at the kitchen table with the letter in front of me, reading it over and over again. It didn't feel real. I wanted it to be a prank, or a dream, or something that would disappear if I closed my eyes long enough. But every time I opened them, the house was still empty. Too quiet. Too cold. On the third day, I got a text from an unknown number. "Check your voicemail." That's it. No name. Just those words. I checked. There was one voicemail I hadn't noticed. It was from Sarah. She sounded calm. Too calm. Like she had rehearsed every word. "Mike, by the time you hear this, I'll be far away. I don't want you to call me. I don't want you to show up at my sister's. I need space. You lied to me, and that broke something I can't fix. I loved you more than anything. I defended you when people questioned our relationship. I fought for you. I gave you everything. And now, I have to let you go. Don't try to find me. Just let me go." Then silence. That voicemail hit me harder than the letter. Her voice was full of pain. I heard the shake in it, even if she tried to hide it. I sat there in the dark, phone to my ear, listening to it on repeat. I thought I hit rock bottom. But it got worse. A week later, I was out getting groceries. I had barely eaten, just living off cereal and guilt. As I pushed the cart down the aisle, I heard someone behind me say my name. I turned around and saw Liz. Liz was Sarah's best friend. They'd been friends since college. She looked like she wanted to punch me in the face. Honestly, I wouldn't have blamed her. She didn't yell. She just looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're a piece of shit. You know that." I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out. "She loved you," she continued. "You were her whole world. Do you even know how many nights she cried on my couch while you were out? You think she didn't know something was wrong? She felt it. She just kept giving you chances because she believed in you. Because she didn't want to admit she married the wrong man." I stood there, frozen. People were walking around us, pretending not to listen. Liz leaned in close. "She's staying with me. She's broken. But she's trying to put herself back together. And if you care about her at all, you'll leave her the hell alone." She walked away without another word. Now I knew where Sarah was. But I also knew I couldn't go there. I couldn't make it worse. Then the real twist happened. That night, I got home and found the front door slightly open. I froze. My first thought was that maybe, just maybe, Sarah had come back. But when I stepped inside, I immediately knew something was wrong. The living room had been tossed. couch cushions thrown, drawers open, papers everywhere. I ran upstairs. The bedroom was the same. Closet doors wide open. Our safe was gone. Completely gone. Someone had broken in. I called the cops, filed the report, but I could tell the officer didn't care much. No sign of forced entry. Probably someone I knew, he said. That stuck with me. Then I remembered something. A few weeks before Sarah left, I'd gotten into a weird argument with a guy I barely knew. Someone from work. Dave. He was new, kind of quiet, always watching. We were at a company party when I caught him staring at Sarah for a little too long. When I confronted him about it later, he just smiled and said, "I see why you married her." Creepy, but I brushed it off. But now, I was starting to wonder. I checked my phone, my email, everything. And that's when I noticed another detail I had missed. Sarah's location history on our shared cloud account had been turned off. Not just turned off, deleted. Then I got another text. Same number as before. "You should have treated her better." That was it. Now I wasn't just guilty. I was scared. Someone else was involved in this. Someone who knew too much. Someone who had been watching. And maybe Sarah wasn't the only one who had secrets. I didn't sleep again that night. I just sat in the living room with all the lights on, baseball bat across my lap. Every creak in the house made me flinch. I kept replaying the text over and over in my head. "You should have treated her better." Who sent it? Was it Dave? Was it someone else close to Sarah? And how did they get into the house? The next morning, I drove to the police station to follow up on the break-in report. The officer at the desk didn't even look up when I explained who I was. He just said, "We've got it on file," like it was a library book. On my way back, I took a detour and parked a block away from Liz's place. I knew it was wrong. She told me not to come near Sarah, but I just needed to see her. Just to know she was real, that she was safe, that I didn't completely ruin everything. I stayed in my car, engine off, hands gripping the steering wheel. About 20 minutes later, I saw Liz step out onto the porch to grab her mail. She looked tired, worn down. A few seconds later, Sarah came out behind her. Her hair was shorter. She always talked about cutting it but never did. She had lost weight too. They went back inside without seeing me. As I was about to pull away, I saw a silver SUV slow down as it passed Liz's house. The driver looked toward the porch. The SUV didn't stop, it just kept going. But I had a bad feeling. I followed it from a distance. It pulled into a parking lot outside an old warehouse about a mile away. The driver stayed in the car. I couldn't see his face clearly, but he looked familiar. Something about the way he sat, his posture. I waited for maybe 20 minutes, then left. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I was spiraling. Like this was bigger than me now. Back home, I started digging through some of Sarah's old stuff. Looking for, I don't even know what. Clues. Answers. That's when I found a small black notebook tucked inside one of her shoe boxes in the closet. I didn't even know she kept a journal. The first few pages were boring, random thoughts, shopping lists, quotes. Then it shifted. Page after page of her talking about feeling watched. About strange phone calls she couldn't trace. About someone following her from work. She thought it was me at first. She even wrote, "He's acting different. Maybe he's testing me?" Then one entry stood out. April 19th. I saw the silver SUV again. Third time this week. Parked outside the grocery store. License plate started with V3R. I told Liz, but she said it's probably nothing. I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. Mike isn't talking. I think he's hiding something. Maybe we both are. I took a picture of the plate fragment on my phone. I was shaking. So she had seen it too. She knew someone was watching. And she didn't feel safe even before she left me. Later that night, I drove past the warehouse again. This time, I parked a bit closer. The SUV was there. Lights off. Someone was inside. I got out slowly. Stayed in the shadows. When I got close enough, I saw the driver clearly. It was Dave. From work. Staring at a laptop, his face lit by the screen. I crept closer and saw what was on the screen. It was me. Live camera feed from inside my house. My bedroom. My kitchen. Even my office. He had been watching me. Watching us. I snapped a photo and ran back to my car. That night, I didn't go home. I drove to a motel off I-94 and locked the door behind me. I sat on the bed, staring at the wall, trying to understand what the hell was going on. Dave wasn't just some office weirdo. He had been in our lives, watching everything. And Sarah had sensed it. She wrote it all down. The next morning, I went back to the warehouse. This time, it was empty. The SUV was gone. No trace. I went back to work like nothing happened. Acted normal. Watched Dave. Tried to figure out what he knew, what he wanted. But he didn't come back. A few days later, I found out he'd quit. No notice. Just disappeared. Then, another text. "Now you know what it feels like to be betrayed." No name. No way to respond. I checked every camera in my house. Searched every vent, every wall corner. I didn't find anything. But I still couldn't sleep. I don't know what Dave's deal was. I don't know if Sarah knew him more than she let on. But I started to wonder if this was all bigger than just me cheating. Maybe someone wanted to destroy both of us. The guilt I felt at first was real. Still is. But now there's something else, paranoia. Fear. The sense that someone else is pulling strings, and I don't even know what game I'm in. And then came the package. No return address. No name. Just my name written in sharp black ink. Inside was a flash drive. I plugged it into an old laptop I don't use anymore. Dozens of video files. Most were of me and Sarah. In our home. Talking. Arguing. Laughing. Being normal. Then, one file named Bedroom, June 3rd. I clicked it. It was footage of me and the woman I had cheated with. Inside my house. That was the night Sarah had gone to visit her mom. I stared at the screen in shock. Someone had recorded it. And someone had shown it to Sarah. This wasn't just about a marriage falling apart anymore. Someone had set all of this in motion. And they were still watching. I sat there in that cheap motel room, my hands shaking, eyes burning into the screen. That footage, the one of me and Lauren, was the final nail in the coffin. Whoever recorded it had been in my house, in my life, long before I ever realized. And they made damn sure Sarah saw everything. It wasn't just guilt anymore. It was rage. It was fear. I had no idea who was behind all of this. Dave? Sarah? Someone else entirely? I had to know. I printed screenshots. The video, the text messages, even the journal entries from Sarah. I didn't know what I was going to do with them yet. But I needed proof, evidence that I wasn't just losing my mind. The next day, I went to Liz's place. I didn't text. I didn't call. I just showed up and knocked. She opened the door, saw me, and immediately went to shut it. Wait, I said. Please. Just give me 10 seconds. She paused. Her jaw was tight, her eyes colder than I'd ever seen them. She's not here, Liz said. She left town again. I know someone's been watching us, I said. Watching both of us. Even you. That stopped her. I showed her the photos. The USB. The notes. Her eyes flicked over the files, her expression shifting from anger to confusion to something close to fear. I thought she was paranoid, Liz whispered. She told me, but I thought it was stress. She wasn't wrong. I could see her mind racing. She opened the door wider. Come in. We sat on her couch while I told her everything. About Dave. About the cameras. About the package. She was silent for a long time, just listening. Then she said, Sarah needs to see this. All of it. She called her. Sarah didn't answer. But a few minutes later, Sarah texted. She was coming over. The moment Sarah walked into the room, it felt like the air shifted. I hadn't seen her in weeks. Her eyes were sunken, her shoulders drawn in like she was bracing for another blow. She didn't look at me, only at Liz. What is he doing here? She asked. Sarah, Liz said gently. Just listen. I started talking. I told her everything. No excuses. No lies. I told her about the affair, about the regret, about the break-in. Then I handed her the flash drive. She stared at it. Didn't touch it. I've already seen it, she said quietly. He sent it to me. Weeks ago. Dave. I asked. She nodded. His real name is not Dave. He used to work with my sister. He was obsessed with me. I never knew how far it went. I didn't think he remembered me. But after everything with you, he found me online. Started showing up. Sent me that video. Said he was exposing you for who you really were. You knew he was stalking you? I thought I could handle it. I didn't want to drag anyone else into it. I was already dealing with your betrayal. Her voice cracked. Finally, she looked at me. Her eyes were full of everything. Hurt, betrayal, exhaustion, and a flicker of hate. You cheated on me, she said. You made it easy for someone like him to step in and play the savior. I didn't know he'd hurt you, but you hurt me, she snapped. Before he ever showed up, you broke me, Mike. And then you acted like you were the victim. That hit harder than anything. Because she was right. Then she stood up and said something that floored me. I slept with him, she said. Once. After I got the video. I was angry. I was hurt. And I wanted you to feel what I felt. Silence. Liz gasped. My chest went hollow. I didn't love him, Sarah continued. I hated him. But in that moment, it felt like the only thing I could do to make it stop hurting. The room was a bomb that had just gone off. I opened my mouth to speak, but there was nothing to say. I had cheated first. I had opened that door. You don't have to say anything, she said. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not giving it either. Liz stepped between us then. This is too much. Both of you need space. Closure. Something. Sarah turned to her. No. I'm done. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. And she walked out. I didn't follow. I sat down on the couch, my hands shaking, head in my hands. Liz sat next to me, not saying a word for a long time. You both destroyed each other, she finally said. Now you have to decide if you're going to keep breaking or start healing. But not together. Not now. The days after were quiet. Empty. I filed a report about Dave, or whatever his name was. The cops found nothing. Just like before. No trace. No closure. Sarah left the city. I heard from Liz once a few weeks later. Sarah was moving on. Getting therapy. Trying to rebuild. Alone. I stayed behind. In the same house. The same rooms. Every corner filled with memories I can't erase. Sometimes I still hear that voicemail. Sometimes I still think about texting her. But I never do. We loved each other once. But sometimes love isn't enough to fix what's broken. We never got back together. We both did things we can't take back. Things that changed who we are. But I'm trying to be better. Every day. One small step at a time. I live with the weight of what I did. And what she did. And the space between those choices. It's not peace. But it's something. Maybe that's all I deserve.